Dennis Brown is joining us. He's been tracking this thing from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I actually have a question for you that I was curious about,
Okay.
right? And forgive me if this is a silly question.
No.
I just thought about it before I walked in. We've been watching all day the traffic. People are trying to get out of the western coast of Florida right now, the coast that's on the Gulf there. They're all headed north. Traffic is wild right now. We're hearing that gas stations are running out of gas.
Yeah.
Is it almost smart for them at this point to head further south, say to like Miami on the east side? What's the play here?
I mean, that is a good place to also be, although there will be some areas of probably heavy rain and maybe even that tornado threat there in Miami. North is better, though, if they can head north. But if there's no other place to go, and if you need to go in the other direction, especially with gas starting to run out in certain places, you might need to head south.
So you said this storm currently Cat 4.
Yes.
But could it strengthen to a Cat 5?
It could again. I mean, we're waiting on that next update from the National Hurricane Center. We'll be seeing that within the hour. That's a good question, Colton, because a lot of folks are saying, where do we go? Where do you go when you have a big storm? And there's really no place to really go east because it's heading eastbound. You'll see there, Hurricane Milton is a Category 4 storm with sustained winds at 155 miles an hour, just shy of being a Category 5 storm. You'll see us moving to the east-northeast at 8 miles an hour. We put the track, and you'll see the cone here. This is tomorrow morning as a Category 4 storm. It's headed toward the west coast of Florida, making landfall somewhere mainly north of Tampa all the way down toward Fort Myers. It really doesn't change much of the impacts. Again, you'll notice that Miami is out of the cone, but it's still a big storm, okay? While they won't see the biggest impacts, though, there's still going to be that threat for some rain bands and that threat for isolated tornadoes. Category 2 storm still going to be outside of that cone when you talk about how big the storm is. And so heading northbound is really going to be the biggest thing that we really need to keep in mind. So hopefully folks have left the area. This is just a look at the spaghetti plots where the eye of the storm will be located. So the eye, big storm though, but the eye most likely making landfall somewhere between Tampa and Sarasota. So Tampa Bay area, Tampa, Sarasota will likely see that. But you'll notice these areas here to the east, Orlando, Cape Canaveral, Melbourne. Yeah, those are some areas there that will still be in the path of the storm as it rakes its way over Florida. So there will still be some impacts towards Space Coast there. And I'll show you this in the forecast model again. Big storm, okay? This is the eye. Not a whole lot, but you'll notice even for Miami, there will be some threats of some heavy rain and isolated tornadoes. The biggest threat, though, will be definitely toward Fort Myers, Tampa, toward Orlando, Daytona Beach here into late tomorrow night into Thursday morning. Again, as the storm moves right over the area with winds that will still be howling. You're talking about a Category 2 storm that will move right over the inland areas there. So that's going to cause trees to go down. I'll show you the tropical storm force winds. Those winds about 39 to 73 miles an hour and could gust to about even 100 miles an hour or so inland as the storm moves to the east. So that's going to be a big problem for folks. And the rainfall, again, not only with storm surge, but just that heavy tropical rain that will move through. There could be some areas seeing about 5 to 8 inches, maybe a little higher in a few spots. So we are thinking about our friends, our family in Florida during this time. Here at home, how about 66 degrees? We have a few clouds out there, but not a lot of complaints here in Eastern Mass. And you'll see the temperatures at 62 in Lawrence, also in Beverly, 61 in Barnstable, about 61 in Worcester. Temperatures will be falling tonight, so we need an extra layer if you're going to be heading out and about, maybe for dinner plans. How about 9 o'clock? 55 degrees overnight in the upper 40s and 50s. That's right at 49 for 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Toward 10, we'll see temperatures in the middle 50s. Not much to worry about. I do see some sprinkles over to the west of us. I think they'll mainly stay in that direction, although I can't rule out a little sprinkle or two. We're just very dry. So on First Alert Futurecast, you might see a little blip of green overnight into the day tomorrow moving over our area. But it's not much because we're just dry here. And that's okay, especially after a gloomy day yesterday. There goes Wednesday evening into Thursday. Again, a couple little blips of green indicating that opportunity for a sprinkle, but steady rain is just not in the forecast just yet. Otherwise, we turn our attention on the 10-day forecast to the temperatures. Sweater weather still in there for Thursday, 58 degrees for highs. We're back to near 70 going into Saturday. And then those numbers falling again with a couple shower opportunities as we go into next week.